Hey family, what's going on? I'm gonna put this little comment up here. Hey y'all. Put this little comment up here real fast. Hold on. Happy Saturday. How y'all doing? I want to share a few thoughts with you that I think for some will be confirming, for others will be enlightening. But a couple days ago, I think it may have been 3 days ago now, many of you know, maybe you don't know, a gentleman by the name of, we call him Tiny. You may have known him as Debo from some of the Fridays movies, and he wrestled and had a lot of parts. Good dude. Passed away, and it looks like it may have been due to COVID-19. But I was just thinking about him. I was talking to my bride this morning, and it kind of it touched me. You know, his passing touched me. We met a couple of times out in various places. Conferences. He was a believer. He was a man of faith, and in some entertainment capacities. But I was just really trying to dig into. It's unfortunate and sad when anyone that you are familiar with passes away. When anyone passes away, for that regard. But it felt like it was just hitting a little differently concerning Tiny, and then I thought about it, and I thought about his character Debo. And if you haven't watched any of the Fridays movies, I don't know, it might be worth. They were hilarious. Chris Tucker, Ice Cube, of course. I think Nia was in some of them. I can't remember, but anyway, just an all-star cast of just funny, good people. It's old. They're old, but they're good. You'll laugh, particularly if you are interested in the inner city or grew up in the inner city. But anyway, I think his role in Friday was the role of Debo. Now, in every hood, in every neighborhood, in every inner city, when I say inner city, that term is so broad. Like I'm speaking more to neighborhoods because believe it or believe it, I think one of the few places where you still have neighborhoods where people are actually neighbor and neighborly is pretty much in inner cities. I know my neighbor I just met them. We've been there for 4 years. But anyway, what I'm saying is these are neighborhoods. These are communities. There's sub-communities and subcultures. And in every hood, there is a debo. And a debo is somebody that, quite frankly, you are somewhat afraid of. And you're not afraid like he's going to come and kill me. That's a different type of person. That's like that's a thug. That's somebody that we pray get, will one day get redeemed. Those are the type of guys who shot me when I was 16 years old. So that's a thug. We pray that God touches them, they get saved, they get their life together, or whatever. And there's obviously a backstory to how they got there, but that's not what I'm talking about. That's not Debo. Debo is this guy. He's in the neighborhood. He is affiliated not because he is a hardcore criminal. He's affiliated because in the subculture of certain communities, Watts, Compton, whatever those, whatever that equates to in New Orleans or New York or, Alabama or the UK or whatever, in certain neighborhoods, affiliation is not about criminal activity or an intent or desire to do wrong. It is literally what you do. If you were raised on this street, you are affiliated with whatever tribe is on that street. And there's so much, maybe one day I'll get with some people and we'll write about this. But anyway, in those neighborhoods, you had this Debo. And Debo was, he typically had been to prison for something. He was big, he was swole, he was crazy, and he did not care, right? He was you just didn't mess with him. He had, let's just put it this way, he didn't have good anger management skills. But oftentimes he actually had a great heart. He, underneath all of that, inability to process his emotions or process his pain, oftentimes systemically induced pain. And he did what any person would do who doesn't have tools. He would take it out through fighting, sometimes bullying, because at the end of the day, this was anger. Anger that individual didn't know what to do with. But every debo had a good heart somewhere. I'm talking about debos. They had like this tender spot, and you would see that tender spot, from time to time. And so, obviously Tiny was playing a role. But I think what was cool about it, and I think one of the reasons that his role was so, was so impacting to people who particularly were born or who were raised or affiliated in certain subcultures, is that everybody knew a debo. Everybody's community had a debo. And Debo was not, the villain of all villains. Debo was just somebody you knew that you had to navigate. Ultimately, you had to navigate around. You didn't want Debo to go away. In certain respects, Debo was the pride of the community. I mean, it's really, really interesting. But he was playing his part, and he played it well. But he was a staunch believer. And I got a DM the other day on a Insta story that I put up about Tiny Lister, and it cracked me. It cracked me right in my chest, because I respected. I'm from LA, and he was from, I believe he's from Compton, so that's all the same. I'm from Watts, he's from Compton. LA is, believe it or not, a pretty tight community. Not LA like, it's so funny, people say, people in LA are so fake. Here is the thing, you're talking about oftentimes Hollywood LA. Hollywood LA is different from LA. And there's some overlap. Anthony Anderson is from here. Ava DuVernay is from here. I think Issa is from here. There are other people who are from here. But when people are talking about the fakeness, you're not talking about people. You're not talking about natives typically. You're talking about people who have moved to LA to pursue a career in this industry, and oftentimes trying to be somebody are pretentious, and that is LA. LA is not pretentious. In fact, we're just the opposite of that. We were raised here, so we're not impressed by stars and celebrity and fame and all that kind of stuff. We've seen the hills of Hollywood. We've seen Beverly. We grew up around it. And so it's kind of almost interesting that when you say people in LA are fake and you're talking about transplants, basically what you're really talking about perhaps is that everybody else is fake. Anyway, I'm going to leave that alone. I think that they're good people everywhere. I think that they're pretentious people of all stripes, colors, creeds, and from geographies that are diverse, as well as positive people. So I digress. But anyway, yeah, Debo. I think to know and experience Tiny Lister post that, he loved God. He was a man of faith. Again, the majority of the times that I bumped into him were at conferences where he was trying to, where he was obviously on his spiritual journey of building himself up. And I came across his TMZ article, and TMZ talking to him, super nice, doing his thing. And at the end, he basically said, you have any final thoughts or something like that? And he's like, yeah, trust Jesus, accept the Lord, walk with Christ. And so we lost another hero. I came on to say we lost another hero. He may not have had the notoriety as some of the people that we've lost this year, some that I knew personally and loved very dearly. But as it relates to just being a true hero, a true man of character, he was that. When you start thinking about debos in the hood, one of the things that separates a debo from a thug is character and integrity. And oftentimes in inner cities, I've seen more loyalty and character amongst Crips and Bloods than I've seen in the church in some contexts. So anyway, I just wanted to give honor. I came on to say rest in peace to the man of God, Tiny Lister. And I pray for his family, those who knew him closely and knew him well. And then also, as we look at those who may be different from us culturally, as we look into inner cities and we look into communities where there are still devos that have the opportunity to become tiny listers. Let's be more prayerful. Perhaps maybe we can be the bridge. He had to be exposed, whether it's Tiny or anybody who's come out of the hood, they had to be exposed to something different. And oftentimes they had to be exposed to someone who believes in them. And so maybe you can be the bridge. 21 is going to be the year of bridges. And if I started a series last week where I cast vision, and I'm continuing tomorrow, called Bridges to Breakthroughs. Check it out. It's going to bless you. I promise you it'll bless you. But let's be bridges this year. Let's maybe be a bridge to a debo. And I ain't saying be foolish or unwise or whatever, but if God happens to bring a debo in your midst, ask the Lord to help you to see potential. And what can you say to encourage? What door can you open responsibly to a debo? And maybe again, he'll go from debo to tiny. So that's it. I just wanted to say, hey, let me take a look at these comments real quick. So y'all flowing. What up? What up? Hey, what up? What up? Let's hear it. Hey, y'all. Love you too, British. Man, good people on here. Thanks for tuning in with me. Yeah, I pray. Wow, a lot of comments. Yeah, let's go after the human race. God is speaking to you. Yeah, okay. All love back to everyone who's commented. I just scrolled through. I saw your comments. I love you. Rest in peace, Debo. And I think I'm going to post this for a little while. Y'all be well. Tune in tomorrow. And then set your sights on New Year's Eve. It's going to be crazy. Activate 2021. The Lord's already given me a word. It's going to bless you. Okay, be well. Peace.